stop selling them weird manifestation gimmicks because I'm gonna find you and I'm calling the police if you do. I'm calling the police.
Hey family and friends, thanks for dropping in and chit-chatting with me today. So as you can already tell, today we're talking about why you're not manifesting, but you're actually sabotaging. So what we're going to talk about first, we're going to talk about what manifesting actually means. So there is a standard like scientific or like Webster dictionary definition of what manifesting is. And then there is this new pop culture, modern day, metaphysical definition of what it means. So we'll start with the Webster dictionary, and I'm looking down because I do have notes because I believe in being prepared. So what is manifesting? Manifesting is to display or show a quality or feelings by one's acts or appearance. It is to demonstrate. So that is the standard scientific Webster dictionary definition. Now, what is the modern pop culture, modern culture definition? It is the practice of thinking aspirational thoughts with the purpose of them coming to fruition. So you have one, which is the scientific kind of.
I'm calling it scientific. I don't necessarily know. I'm gonna just say, I'll either say scientific or standards. We're gonna just interchange it. Bear with me.
So you have the standard definition, which is actually, although it is a verb, it is an action that is brought upon by another action. And then you have the other version, which is like an action that brings something else. So I know that sounds confusing, but let me just break it down to you in kind of a clear-cut thing. So if we use the example of me wanting to have an ideal body, I'm using myself. Don't judge me. Don't flame me in the comments. Thank you. If we're using that as our example, so if we're using the standard definition of manifesting, that would look like this. By working out for 6 months to a year consistently, I, Stephanie, was able to manifest the body of my dreams. I was able to bring into fruition, I was able to bring into the appearance of you and of myself the dream body that I wanted by working out for 6 to 12 months. So that is a example of the first definition. If we're using the second, more modern term definition, it would go like this. I thought about the dream body I wanted, therefore I got the dream body I wanted. So in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't sound bad, but there is a huge chunk missing between the action and the result. I thought about the dream body I wanted, therefore I was obligated to get it and I got it. So it's a disconnect there. And honestly, I hate the word manifesting. Manifesting is up there with like women empowerment for me. I hate the term women empowerment. Not that I don't think women should be empowered, but the two terms have become so gimmicky and such like a money ploy that they really lose the value in what that word actually means. So where we today use manifesting as a sense of making something happen, the real definition of manifesting is something that has already happened or something that has come about due to something else. It's manifested itself. So I just wanted to kind of break down that scientific, like the real meaning and kind of what we do it as, because I think it's important to really I just don't want to say I hate manifesting. I think it's really important. We got the definition of what manifesting is. Where do we even get manifesting as it comes from, like as we know it today, like the definition that we use in pop culture? Well, there's a book, and bringing it back to books, but it's true. There's a book that came out in 2006 called The Secret. You may not know the name when you hear, but I will show you a picture of the book and you will definitely know it when you see the picture. It's called The Secret, and it was written by an Australian TV producer. Her name was, I want to get her name right, Her name was Rhonda Byrne. Hope I'm saying that right. And she wrote The Secret in 2006. Now, The Secret, that the title suggests at, is manifesting the life that you want. And her whole thought process was, if you think positive thoughts, then they will come true. And so at the time in 2006 that this book was written, it actually was not critically acclaimed. It was actually pretty laughed at and mocked because people reading it were like, this sounds absolutely, implausible. So eventually it got this cult following, and then this whole manifestation movement started festering in like sub metaphysical cultures, subgroups, and then now it's like in the forefront in our faces, and everybody's manifesting everything from a dog to a car to a man. So it's crazy. So and even to date, that book has sold over 30 million copies worldwide and has become one of the holy grail self-help books, joining the likes of like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. These are all around like those same self-help, think and it shall come type of books. So we go from this space of manifesting, not really having a place in our society, somebody writing about it, coming up with this ideology, and now boom, it's everywhere. And ultimately it doesn't sound bad, right? If you believe in something, if you're a positive person, then good things will happen to you, and all the things that you want in life will come to you. One of my favorite quote unquote self-help books, that I know it's cliche, but it is The Alchemist. I love that book. And one of the most famous quotes in there is, when you really want something, all of the universe will conspire to give you that thing. And one thing I think that we look over in that book is on the journey, on the protagonist's personal legend, or his main journey, why he was going through the book. He had a vision of like wanting to find this treasure, and he had to go on this intensive long journey to get from that dream he had to actually getting the treasure. And through that journey, there were a lot of unexpected things. There were a lot of just him having to go through things. It wasn't like I wanted, I got it. And I think like maybe that's the part that we're missing, but we'll get to that in a little bit. I kind of got ahead of myself there. So why is this type subscribing to this manifestation ideology kind of it's self-sabotaging you, and it's problematic? Well, number one, if you are a person who has been diagnosed or is predisposed or have symptoms of anxiety and depression or mental health issues, studies have shown that this type of manifestation thinking can be detrimental to your health, to your mental health, as well as those people who do not identify with having anxiety, depression, or other mental health illnesses. Subscribing to this kind of hyper optimistic thinking can actually develop those types of emotions and mental health problems within you. And it'll come full circle when I get to another topic, but that's just like the basis. This kind of thinking really opens the door for people who have mental health problems. And while we're here, I'll just jump ahead of myself. So for instance, it's this positive thinking, or like what I like to call hyper optimistic. So there have been researches done that that often people who subscribe to this hyper optimistic or super positive way of thinking tend to become more complacent and are less likely to achieve their goals. So, and the reason for that is, let's say you get one of these self-help books, you're reading, you get one of these manifestation books, you're doing the work, you're doing the worksheets, you're doing the scrapbooking, the reading, the puzzling, the meditations, you're doing everything that these books are telling you to do. And at first, you're super motivated. You want to keep doing it. But as you're doing it, you're not seeing anything change. And we do live in a popcorn society. So 9 times out of 10, if you don't see an improvement between like a week and like a month at max, you're getting rid of it, you're starting something else, or you're feeling discouraged. So you're doing these things, and you're not seeing a change. Your life is still at a standstill. If I can use the example of finding a job, you say in your mind, I want to manifest the career of my dreams. And you're sitting at your desk at work and you're like, this is what I want to do. This is the kind of job I want to have, making this kind of money. And you are not developing yourself to acquire the skills to qualify for that position. Or let's say you already have the skills. You're only applying to 1 or 2 jobs a week instead of applying to like 15 to 20 jobs a week. We know how the job market is.
It's crazy out here.
So you're not putting in the necessary work to really get to where you need to go. But because of that hyper positive thinking, it'll happen. It'll all work out for my greater good. The universe is going to conspire to give me whatever I want. Then 2 months, 3 months goes by, you're still working your same job. Nothing good is happening there. Nothing more is happening there. Nothing is progressing with you trying to get to your dream job. And now you're in a state of self-doubt, anxiety, and depression because you're questioning yourself. What am I doing wrong? What is wrong with me as to why some of these other people that I'm seeing on social media or my accountability group, they're doing great? What is it about me that I'm not, getting the things that I want? And sometimes it's not really about you. It's about what you're subscribing to, the type of ideology and mentality that you are becoming vulnerable to, which is this hyper positive, manifest everything you want kind of mentality. And so, and that's how a person who generally would not classify themselves as having anxiety or depression or any kind of mental health issue could fall victim to having or displaying symptoms of those issues. And if we look at people who already have been diagnosed or are predisposed to those type of mental health issues, how can this type of thinking be harmful? You're probably like, Steph, they're trying to manifest positive things, but you have to understand, for every positive there is negative. There has to be balance in our universe for it to function. So for every positive, quote unquote, manifestation, there are those same negative manifestations. If I'm a person who suffers from depression and I put in my mind and I believe everybody hates me, nobody loves me, I'm all alone, if I subscribe to that thought of, that definition of manifestation, I'm thinking nobody loves me. I'm thinking nobody cares. Therefore, it is. Therefore, that's how it will be. Therefore, that is what it will be forever. And that is what my life will bring to me. So it can advance and degenerate the mental health of people who already are suffering. And so we just have to be very careful with how we are laying out this information to people, because it can affect everybody in a different way depending on your mental status and how strong or not strong you are mentally. And that is a very serious and important thing, especially nowadays when we have social media and people are only showing us the snapshot. I manifested the dream car of my life. There's a leased Lamborghini outside. I manifested my Rolls Royce. Your leased Rolls Royce is outside, or your rented Rolls Royce is outside. So we're seeing what we think is reality, and it's really not. And it definitely can have an effect on your mental health, which is self-sabotaging. So don't self-sabotage yourself. Don't allow this type of thinking to make you doubt your process and your personal legend. It also gives a temporary sense of positivity and calmness. So when you're going through like the process of going through some of these programs or books and journals, it makes you feel good because you feel like you're sitting down. You feel like you are taking steps to a better life for yourself. In a sense, yes, you are taking steps to a better life for you. But it's very temporary because, like I said, after that time passes and you're not seeing the progress that you want to see, where is that happiness? Where is that sense of calmness and that sense of peace? Now you're a ball of anxiety and you're stressed out, and now you're going to start something new, and now you're going to, buy another book. That method's not working. I'm going to do this method. So it just really gives us a temporary sense of calmness and peace instead of us creating long lasting calmness and peace by actually making actionable changes to achieve our goals. So those are ways that you are self-sabotaging yourself through this kind of manifesting phenomena. And I did want to add, you're also self-sabotaging yourself by looking at others on social media through this lens who are selling you or who are touting this manifesting journey or gimmick. And you're looking at them and you're looking at what they have, you're looking at what other people have. And I just want you to know that these are just small snapshots into a one moment of a person's life. And I'm going to get into next why you shouldn't subscribe to that and how you can then be that person without selling them weird manifestation gimmicks. Because I'm gonna find you and I'm calling the police if you do. I'm calling the police. I'm gonna get you arrested because it's illegal. It's illegal to sell manifesting to people. From here on out, it's illegal. So you shouldn't look at other people's small snapshots of what they're doing. You have to go at your own pace to reach your goals. So how can you reach your goals? How can you be that person that people look at and say, hey, they're achieving everything they set out? And I don't want people to think that achievements have to be something huge and grandiose. An achievement can literally, don't think that you have to go out and buy a multi-million-dollar house. An achievement can seriously just be, I woke up this morning and I walked a mile today. That is an achievement. I lost 5 pounds this month. That is an achievement and something that's getting you to an ultimate goal of maybe you losing 50 pounds. So don't sidestep the small things because you feel like it's not grandiose enough. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate the goals that you were able to achieve for yourself. So if manifesting isn't the way, then what is? I'm not saying manifesting isn't the way. I'm saying that the way in which we're using manifesting is wrong. So what should we do? I'm going to tell you what we should do. And I have also used this method to achieve some goals that I wanted, that I personally had. If I want to be personal, which I will be, I started a literary tech company in 2018. And I knew I wanted to do something where I could bring people together to read. And I knew I wanted it to be really big. I wanted people to use it. I wanted it to be the next Facebook. And I'm not there, not yet. But I have a lofty goal for myself. How am I getting to my goal? I'm using the whoop whoop method. The whoop method. WOOP. Not the WOP. Not the WOP. The whoop. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. I'm using the whoop method. And this method was actually coined by an NYU psychology professor, German psychology professor. Her name is Gabrielle Ottingen. I hope I'm saying that right. And so what does the WOOP method stand for? It stands for wish, outcome, obstacles, and plan. So you have your wish, which is your goal, and then you have the outcome. The goal that I have for myself, what is the ultimate outcome that I want out of this thing? At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, once I achieve it, what do I want it to be? What do I want out of it? And then obstacles. What are things between point A and point B that could possibly go wrong that could stop me from getting to my goal? And then plan. Now that I know those obstacles, I can plan accordingly for them. So if I want to get a little bit more in depth, the WHOOP method is almost reverse engineering your own success. Knowing what you want, knowing how you want it to end, and then even if you don't know all of the many outcomes all the many obstacles that could happen, because there could be an infinite amount of obstacles that you could never plan for. But if you could just think of some, and if I go back to the example of losing weight, I know I want to lose 50 pounds. All right, what are some obstacles? I work at a corporate job at a desk for 8 to 10 hours a day, so I don't get enough movement in, I don't get enough exercise, and it's hard for me to get to the gym before and after work. So what is a plan to kind of get around that? Okay, if I know I don't move that much, let me, instead of parking closest to the door, let me park a few rows back so I can get some steps and extra calories in. On my lunch break, let me just walk around the building or walk around the parking lot or parking garage just to get some movement, you know what I'm saying? Just some movement in there. While I'm sitting at my desk, let me just stand up and do 15 squats every hour while I'm at work. That'll help me get, some legs exercises in. Let me just wake up 30 minutes early and do some at-home exercises 30 minutes, before I start getting ready for work. That is an obstacle that you could face to reach that could potentially stop you from reaching your goal, but you've already thought about it, you've accounted for it, and you've made a contingency plan to kind of get around it. So these are just, the WHOOP method is definitely it. The WHOOP method is a plan that gives you actionable strategies to achieve your specific goal. And so to me, that is a lot more logical and obtainable than just manifesting. And through the WHOOP method, you are manifesting. Through the WHOOP method, you will manifest. That is a better way. Through the WHOOP method, you will manifest your goal because you have created a tangible, actionable plan to make sure that it happens, versus you just wanting it to happen and hoping through the universe conspiring with you that it will. These are the differences, and I don't want you to self-sabotage. I want you guys and myself to be successful and be great, but we can't do that by subscribing to detrimental behaviors to our progress. And I feel like manifesting in the form that we are fed through social media and popular culture is one of those things. So guys, please do not self-sabotage yourself. Whoop it up. Create an actionable plan to manifest your goals. Don't manifest your goals. Create an actionable plan so that they will manifest. And that is, after this, you're not going to be self-sabotaging. You're going to be self-lifting. And then you're going to go back and then you're going to tell other people and you're going to lift them up too. And I'm going to put in the link in the description box, like I always will, any resources to anything that I say, and any resources that I think will help. My email is down below. If you want me to help you whoop it up, please just email me. I'm not selling you anything. I'm not selling you anything. I'm passionate about making sure that people are not being fed bullish for $1. And I feel like the manifesting gimmick has done that, but don't worry. Steph is here to help you. So, all right, family, I hope this really helped. I hope that now you are on your way to literally creating the life, the goals, and the lofty dreams that you have. And by making an actionable plan, you will manifest those things for yourself. And thank you guys for hopping in. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. Bye.